How's it going, everyone? We are going to be building a really simple shopping cart application in this live coding tutorial. If you see here with my horribly styled CSS and this beautiful pink header, you have the ability to view some products on a website, which you can, see here. We have a hairbrush and some cookies, displays the cost of them. And when you click on add to cart for any of these products, it's going to add these to your cart, increment this number here. And as a user, you can go in, you can view your cart. It's kind of confusing that these are the same items as before, but if I remove these, notice that your cart will become empty. This number will go down, and we can go back and add a bunch of items, whatever you want, okay? And when you refresh the page, this just clears out because we're not doing any form of local storage to persist this. But yeah, that is what we're going to be building in this application. And if you don't mind the ugly styles, and you're more focused on the functionality of how to implement this in Vue, be sure to stick around. You're going to see me make a lot of mistakes, fumble around, reading through some Vue docs, but all in all, I think it's a good tutorial, so be sure to watch it. So for this project, I'm going to be using Vue. I do have the docs loaded up over here because I haven't memorized everything, and I'm sure I'm going to forget stuff along the way, but for the most part, I have a Vue CLI project created over here, and I went ahead and just deleted some stuff, so it's really bare bones. And we're not going to be using Vue Router or Vuex for state. We're just going to be using Vue, and that's it. So hopefully this is a good tutorial. If you are new to Vue and web development, be sure to watch this all the way through because you will learn some cool stuff, hopefully. But anyway, what are we trying to build? We are trying to build a shopping cart application. So what does that mean? We need to have a page that displays products. So if you go to Amazon, you can search through products and you could click on one and say like add to cart. So we're going to try doing that. So let's just, on our main app, we can, here, let's just pretend we have an array or a list of products that we want to render out. So first of all, in our app component, we can refactor this later on. Let's just add a data property and have that return some products. And that's going to be an array, and let's just define a product such as hairbrush or something. I could do cost. I don't know how much hairbrushes cost these days because I never brush my hair. All right, so hairbrush cost is 99 cents. Name is that. What else do you think you need on a product? That's probably good enough. Actually, you might want an image, right? So I'm just going to go and type in hairbrush on Google Images, and hopefully nothing bad pops up. All right, this one looks good. Yeah, let's copy this image address and plagiarize. So if I paste that in here, that's actually a data. I don't know if that'll work. It probably will. So what we want to do is just try to render out these list of products. So instead of printing out hi here, I could just do an H1 and say products. And then I could make a div that has just pretty much all those products. So in Vue, if you want to iterate over a list of things, like using a for loop, you can say v4, and then you can say product in products, I believe. All right, and then typically you want to bind a key. So this colon is like a shortcut way to do a data binding, and I could say the key is going to be equal to the product.name. And all this is going to do behind the scenes is basically loop over my products array down here, and for each one, render out some stuff. So I could do product.name to render that out. And it's failing because the template root requires exactly one element. All right, so simple enough solution. The root requires one element. What that means is I need one element. And now we have hairbrush printing out. So it would be nice if we also had the image. So inside of that div, let me close this so you have more real estate. Okay, does that look better, y'all? Awesome. Inside our image, we can point to, I think, source. And I always forget how to do this because I'm so used to using Vue. So I think I could say product.image. And the fact that this is, you know what, I'm mixing up my JSX here. I think you could just do this. So bind it to product.image. And hopefully that works. No character attribute tags. I don't remember how to do this. Let's see. Like, do I need curly braces? Maybe I do. Maybe I need to end the actual tag here. It's okay, there we go. So you're gonna see me make a lot of mistakes in this video, and I hope that is what you want, because watch me struggle, maybe you'll learn something. So we want to make this into a nice little like card maybe, or a nice little like a component that you can easily click a button. So first of all, we want to add a button called like add to cart. Okay, save that. We have a button. Okay, so now we have, just to kind of demonstrate the looping thing I was talking about, if we have multiple products, like we have a hairbrush, I don't know, cookies, we can make those like $5.99. Let's find a picture of cookies here. That looks good. Yum, yum. All right, let me I'll grab this one, copy image address. I'll go ahead and paste this in here, and if I go back, we have cookies. Oh, we're not printing out the cost. It'd probably be nice to print out the cost somewhere, right? So I'll add another div, and I'll say product.cost. So we can actually see how much these things cost. Okay. So obviously this is a really bare bones project. I don't know how much time I'll invest in CSS, just enough to make it so it's not like extremely hideous, but I think it'd be nice if we had two columns here. So what I could do is I'm going to rearrange this a little bit, and I'm going to add a wrapper. I'll just say products. So there's a wrapper div called products, and that is going to basically wrap all of our little product divs. Okay. And down here in our style components, let's say scoped, and I want to add a class called products, and that's going to be a display of type grid, and I'm going to say give that 2 columns. I'll do this. So now they should hopefully be side by side if I save this page. And of course they're not. Oh, they are. I had to refresh the page. Sometimes the VCLI doesn't seem like it refreshes stuff. Maybe that's because I don't have my Chrome tab open down here. I don't know, but anyway, I have 2 columns now, and I got a button add to cart. I got some cookies, a hairbrush. Awesome. We'll come back and style this probably, but I think at this point it would be nice to have products on its own page, because, you know, hold on, let's think. What do we need to do now? So basically, when someone clicks on add to cart, we are going to want to store that item that they clicked inside some type of array data structure. Okay, so it would make sense to have another data attribute called cart, which is equal to an empty array. And when we click on add to cart, we want to do something. Okay, so in view, you could say :on, and we could do a binding to add item to cart, and we'll pass it product. All right. So in order to call this method, we have to define it in our data component, or inside of our component down here. So if we go down and we add another method, or sorry, if we add another property called methods, and that is a object with different properties in it. So I could say add item to cart, and that is going to be a function that we can call. This is going to take in that product that we're passing in. So when the user clicks on this button, we are going to pass in the product here. And just to visualize that, I could just go ahead and print out what product is, so we have a good understanding of what's going on. Let me go to my console. Let me clear this. Let me click add to cart, and it didn't work because for some reason it didn't work. So I don't know why it didn't work. Okay, so what would make this not work? I think it's not on. I think it's click. There you go. This is just examples of me. Wait, what? Okay, hold on. Is it on click? I might have to go and look at the docs. I don't remember how to do this. This is embarrassing, guys. All right, go to click v on. Okay. I guess you do have to do v on. I thought there's some shorthand method for doing that. I don't really know. Let's see. Maybe you have to say v on. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so every time I click it, it is printing out an observer. Cool. And that has cost, image, and name. So maybe this was working because I did see observer down here. Hold on, let's take a step back. Let's just go like this and refresh, clear the console, click on the button, V on. I guess you need V on. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, so I don't know why you guys are even watching this tutorial video. Anyway, so you click on add item to cart. We need to add that product to that array that we talked about in here, okay? So that's simple enough, right? On view, anything that's in your data component or what you return from your data component, you should have access to. So you should be able to say like this dot cart, and then you should be able to push your product into that cart. Okay, and again, hopefully this works. I'll just visualize this, click this button, and now we have an array that has one item in it. If I keep clicking on it, we should get like an array of 7 items, okay? So I'm assuming that's working. It sounds like it's working. What would be nice to do is up here on the top right, maybe even add a header. I'll say header. And what we want to do is we just want to put out the, like how many products there are. So I can say cart.length in cart. Oops, I need to do the double curly braces or whatever. Oh no, go back. All right, so 0 in cart. Okay, let's go down here and style that just a little bit. I'll say height is 100 pixels, color, background color, a faint, let's say gray. Ooh, that looks bad. DDD. There's margin on the page, so it's not going to look that great. Let's change that. I think I can go to the, what do I go to? I think I could probably just say style here and say body margin 0. Did that fix it? It did fix it. Okay. Alrighty. So what we want to do is inside that header, we want to pretty much text align everything to the right. This still looks pretty bad. I'll just give it a box shadow. How about that? And I'll make it that color. How about that? There's our awesome header. Okay. Font size 30 pixels. Height is probably way too much. And I'll say padding top 20 pixels. Okay, there's our cute little header that kind of shows you how many are in your cart. So as you click on, anyway, what I'm trying to show here is as you click on these items, they're added to your cart, okay? And it would make sense. Oh Lord, what is all this? Are those the images? Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Hold on, let's find some different images. I need the actual like real Wikipedia, okay. Please be URLs, copy image address. But go back, you know, I could just minimize these. How about that? That's good enough. I forgot you can minimize these in your VS Code editor. So what I am trying to do now is I want to be able to view my cart, okay? So it probably makes sense to have a button here in the header called like view cart. I love auto formatting. So if you click on view cart, what is that going to do? Well, it's going to basically show a different view down here of all of your cart items. So obviously, if your application is going to be large, you're probably going to want to use real routes like view router, but we're just playing around, you know, learning some stuff, doing this, doing that. So what you could do is you could kind of have an internal state to represent what page you're on and show different pages internally here based on if you're on your cart or not. So what we could do is just add another thing called page, and we will say products. And we want to just basically show that. So like I said, I can make a div and wrap all those, wrap our products. And we could later split this out in the subcomponents if we want to. But basically, if page is equal to products, and then we want to show the stuff down here. And just to show that this will break, if I change this page to like cart, it goes away, okay? And again, what we're trying to achieve is when you click on view cart, we want to basically change the page to cart. and show something else. So I could just do this, your cart, delete all these things. Probably add back something similar in just a second, but so now we have two pages. We have a cart page and a products page. Actually, that should say cart. So, when you click on this button here, we want to change our page to cart. So I could say on click, and then call a function called navigate to cart, I guess. And again, this is like, you can grill me on this. This is just, I'm just having fun right here, but you definitely want to use view router probably to implement what I'm trying to do. And maybe I'll make another tutorial to explain that. But basically, I just want to be able to set the page with the method here, navigate to. And if you click on that button, it'll take you to the cart. So let's change this back to products and save it. And it should have gone to the products. Why is it not going to products? If the page is equal to cart, if the page is equal to products. This is one thing I feel like, do I need to restart my view CLI? What's going on here? Could have a bug, maybe I have a bug. Well, this is kind of strange. Okay, so we have page, and it must be stuck to cart still, products. What's going on? Hard reload. Empty cache and hard reload. I didn't like that. Okay, so what is going on here? Does anyone know? I don't know. Let's see. Because I added this stuff. If page is equal to cart, show this. I don't know what's going on, so let's just print out what page is. It's equal to cart for some reason. But if I go down here, data returns products. So, hold on. This might be invoking directly. My gosh, I did it again. I did it again, y'all. There's some things about Vue I just don't like. It's just, there's like little nuances that you have to make sure you do. So I had to make sure I do v on click. Otherwise, it just kind of called this function right away. If anyone knows why that was happening, or if there's a different alternative to this, let me know. But anyway, let's move on. Okay, we made progress here. So you click view cart, it takes you to your cart. And you probably want another button here that says view products. And we could say that that navigates to the products view, okay? So view products, view cart. And obviously you probably only want to show view products. We'll just keep those, who cares? So now in our cart, very similar, what we want to do is we want to loop over all of the products and print them out. Okay, so if I go here, I could just basically write that exact same code, but instead of looping over your products array, you're going to loop over your cart. And this could, you could probably still use products. It's going to look very similar, but the only main difference is we don't have a button that says add to cart. Instead, we'll have an item that says remove item from cart. And let us view cart. All right, so if I add a cookie, I go back to my cart, I have a cookie in my cart. And I need to say remove from cart on this button here. And I need to also add a function that will allow us to remove it. So down here, I can say remove item from cart. That's going to take in a product. And we could just say this.cart.splice, this.cart.index of product. Assuming that these are the same like object references, this should work fine. So if I add 2 cookies and 2 brushes, I go back and I see an error down here. Oh, okay. Well. So a couple of things. I typed splice incorrectly. So that would help if I did not type that incorrectly. Let me add a brush and a cookie. I'll go back and I'll remove the cookie and then I'll remove the cart. Okay. So a second thing was, we saw this error saying that like duplicate keys. That's because we were indexing on name, which the issue with that is name is duplicated. Like if you add 15 hairbrushes, they're going to be the same hairbrush every time. So we instead want to do an index, and I don't remember how to do that honestly. So let us Google view loop use index. No shame if you don't know what you're doing. I think you just, okay, so this is what you do. You basically go over here and you say index. Okay, so it's, you're looping over getting the product, and then you're also getting some internal value from view. So instead of setting our key to that, we're going to set our key to index. Is this good practice? I don't know. You tell me. You guys are the pros, right? I'm not a pro at view. I'm not a pro at anything. All right, so if I click on the cookie and click on it 100 times and I go to view cart, we get a bunch of cookies. Awesome. Yes. Beautiful. So one thing I really don't like about this code is that it's getting kind of big, kind of complex. So it'd be nice if we split this up into smaller pages or components. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to make a products view, and I'm going to scaffold out a view product file there. And what we want to do is basically take all of this code. This code is the cart, so not all of that code, all of this code. So take all of that and put it in our products template, and we're going to run into issues because of that whole root component thing that I complained about earlier. So make sure that is wrapped in a one root component. And then we could just go ahead and say products and import that. So in order to import that, you can import products from components slash products.view, and we should get an error because programming's hard. What is this complaining about? Products is defined but never used. Okay, well, in order to resolve that little error that you might see when working with view and ESLint, you need to add a components array, I believe. I don't know if it's an array. I think it might be an object actually. I think it's an object because you want to map the key names to your things. But I already have it declared. Okay, awesome. So let's go down here and just add products to that components list. And now when we go to products, nothing works. Why is that? We get an error down here. All right, so this is complaining saying that products was not defined. So now that we have products like here, we have a hard-coded list of products here, we could either pull these out and put them in the products component, which would probably make more sense. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here. We're going to define some data. Make sure it's inside your curly brace. And we are going to return that. So this is going to return products, and now we can seed them all. Second issue is we were doing this whole grid thing. And if I just actually pull this out here, that should be global now. And that's going to work on our cart and our products page. So if I click on add the cart, it don't work. Because add to cart is a function that is declared in our app.view file. But honestly, what we want to do is we probably want to omit an event. So here, let me minimize all this stuff. And when we click on add item to cart, that's going to omit something. So let's go methods. We have a method called add item to cart, and that is going to omit add item to cart product. How about that? Is that how you do it? Now, in our app component, whenever a product is clicked on the products page, we could just bind to an internal function here. I think this is how you do it, and basically push it into the cart. Remember, like if you're using Vuex or some type of state management, this could probably be shared state, and then you could just fire off events and update the cart. But since we're not, and we're using like prop drilling and stuff, you need to either pass up like emit an event when someone clicks on this so that you can add it to your cart. Therefore, I think we're getting a bug. What's going on here? If I click add the cart, what happens? Nothing. It should do something. So let's kind of debug this. I'm pretty sure this .emit should fire off. So do we emit the product when we click on these buttons? We do. All right, let me just go to the docs. How do you emit events? Come on, like maybe I need to go to custom events. Emit. This .emit, you pass the event. You say v on. Is that what you really need to do again? Maybe this is biting me in the butt so many times. Like I have to say v on. I thought this was a shortcut to bind to it though, so I don't know. I just don't know. I think that fixed it. I don't know why. I don't think I've used Vue 3. I've been using like the older version of Vue, but I guess you have to use v on now. Kind of confusing. This is kind of a bad tutorial, but I hope you enjoy watching me struggle with Vue and refresh my memory. But now as I add a bunch of stuff to the cart, we'll see it that it's in a cart. Okay, so the second thing I want to do is similar to how we did the products. I want to make a new component called cart. And we could take all of this stuff and put it in here. And we could just, instead of doing all this stuff, we could just say cart. Make sure you import it. Sorry, I keep forgetting to close my navigation. It's probably hard to see the code when I keep that open. But make sure you add that to your components list or else it'll crash and you'll be confused for 30 minutes trying to debug what's going on. So now if I add it, it's adding it to this cart array here. But the question is do you want your carts array stored inside your actual cart component, or should it live in a top level app component? And that is a good question, and I don't know the answer. The choice is really yours. In our case, let's just keep it at the top level because I'm lazy and that's easier. But in order for this cart to work, if I go to my cart, notice nothing renders. That is because we don't have that cart data passed in. So we could pass in that cart prop. So I could say pass in cart. I think I need to bind it though. Okay. So pass in cart, and inside of here, we could define, I think it's like this, props cart. And voila, look at that. Now, whenever you add something to your cart, it's being kind of added to your top level Vue app component and passed down into your cart component. So then you can kind of do stuff like this. Now the last issue is we can't remove anything from the cart because we need to add another method here. So method remove from cart is a function that is going to emit the exact same thing. Remove from cart product. Let's see. And now, third time's a charm. I'm going to remember the type v hyphen on. Remove item from cart. It's going to call a function called remove item from cart. And that's going to splice it from the cart. Okay, so let us clear the console, click on remove, and watch it crash. Why did it crash? Let's refresh. I don't know if I need to refresh. I like doing that because sometimes stuff doesn't work. All right, let's read the error. That helps too. Reading the error really helps because sometimes I don't read the errors when I probably should. Remove item from cart is not a function. So, and that is coming from which component? Coming from the cart component. See how this beautiful error tells you exactly where to look? Not really. It doesn't really tell you. You have to kind of dive into it. So cart.view. If I go to cart.view, it's saying remove item from cart is not a method, and that is because I forgot to put the S on the method. I hate programming. All right, so now if I click on remove the item, it removed both of them, which is also not what we want. So what are we going to do? Maybe we should remove the index. Remove the index. So, splice out the index. This is probably such bad code, but I hope you're enjoying watching me struggle. Alright, so I added 2 cookies. I go back, I remove a cookie, and it only removed the one that I wanted to remove. So, is there more bugs with this? Probably. Let's just add a bunch of stuff and try to remove stuff. I'm going to try to remove, oh, the hairbrushes. It removed every single one for some reason. You know what? I think that is because I must be pushing identical references to my view component. So if I go to products, I think it would make sense to make a new reference there. What happened? Why did it add a curly brace? I don't really know. So I'm gonna add a bunch of stuff here. And now if I remove a brush, it removed every single one. Why? Why is this happening to me? Remove item from cart. Should be removing the index, and that's it. Now let's just go back to product. These should all be different products, so I'm gonna go back to product. Remove item from cart. This.cart. Oops. Index of product. Oh, wait, whoa. I know why. So, this is why you need to be good at JavaScript, because if you just do splice, it's going to return or delete everything from your array. What we want to do is splice one thing out, not everything out. So let me take a step back. Let me go back. I don't need to do this. I do not think I need to do this. Okay. This is complaining about index because I deleted it there for some reason. Add a bunch of cookies. Add a brush. Bruh. I need some margin on the bottom of this page. All right. Are you guys ready? I'm kind of scared to click this button. Let's click it. Oh, it crashed. Awesome. Cannot read property index of undefined. This.card. Dude. If I had $1 for every time I mistype something in this tutorial, I'd have, I think, $2. Minimum. $2 minimum. Alright, so I'm going to add some brushes and some cookies and some other stuff. Remove the... Okay, it worked. Did it work? Oh, it did. Okay, so let me just add a bunch of crap. Add a bunch of cookies. And delete some, and then delete some. Cool. So at this point, we have successfully created a really basic shopping cart. Obviously, when you refresh the page, you lose all of your cart items. To achieve that, to solve that, you probably want to store your cart information inside your local storage or inside of a like a cookie, so that when your user logs in, their cart is persisted. But that's a more advanced topic, and I'm not going to cover that in this one. So let us maybe just wrap this up by styling this up a little bit, so when I take a screenshot or YouTube thumbnail, people might actually be interested in watching this tutorial. So let us, let's just style the products a little bit more. So we have the name here, so I could say the H3. We could style that some. This whole thing is like duplicate code. Honestly, we could probably make this into a component because it's really similar, but it's okay to copy code sometimes. There's no shame in copying code. The button, okay, I'm going to put the cost up one. I might float it to the right. I'll say cost, and then if I go back to app view, I should be able to say products.cost float right. Is that how you do it? Will that work? It doesn't work. Well, I could do CSS grid again. I could probably use Flexbox, or I could just say screw it, and I'm not going to style it that much. So we have the title, we have the cost, and we have an image, and then the button we could probably make a little bit nicer. I'm going to just go ahead and say products button. Give it 10 padding. Give it a background color of like cyan. Oh yeah, that looks real good. All right, maybe we should give it black. Outline, none. Border, none. Does that look fresh, y'all? I hate how the cursor, I don't know why the button, so cursor, pointer. Like, you think buttons were defaulted by having like a cursor. All right, so this looks a little bit better. And the buttons in the top, I'm going to style as well because those look pretty bad. And in fact, the header, this background color needs to be something else. I don't know. Let's just do like pink. Let's make this really vibrant, y'all. How's that look, y'all? Looks good? Looks good to me. Let's make this crazy. This blue. Yes, now we're cooking. All right. View products. So in the header, we want to style the buttons, and again, padding 10, border, none, cursor, pointer. What color should these be? I don't know. Background color. Green. Yes. This is going to get so many click-throughs on YouTube. All right, so I think, can't read the text. Accessibility is important. Anyway, the whole point of this wasn't the styling. That's why I saved it for last, and I'm just kind of messing around with it. But we have successfully built or hacked at a really simple view application for keeping track of some products, adding them to a cart, viewing your cart, removing them from your cart. Again, this was, I haven't used View in a long time. It's been like a couple of months, or go back on my tutorial videos. The last time I made a View video was probably 3-4 months ago. So I don't remember what if, like, how to do certain stuff. I think things have changed. Like, I feel like this is required now. I don't know. I need to read through these docs because I think View 3 has come out recently. But yeah, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. There'll be more crazy videos like this in the future where I just kind of live code stuff and fumble around with doing things. So if you find these helpful, be sure to subscribe, leave me a comment, leave me a thumbs up, and give me feedback ideas for other products or applications you'd like to see built via a live coding session.